What up, everybody? Welcome to Late Night Live number 79. How's everybody doing this evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it is for you? I got my tea, I got my ink, I got some paper, I got a nib, I got a pen. I'm ready to write. Also happy to say, I actually have, decaffeinated tea today, rather than the non-decaffeinated tea that I've been drinking lately. That is mighty bright. I'm gonna chill that out just a little bit for you guys. What's going on, Skeet? You're here and you're ready to learn something. I love that. Well, I'm here and I'm ready to learn something as well. Because today, we are connecting the letter F. And as we know, the letter F is our first letter that doesn't end in a horizontal oval. So far, all our letters have finished with some form of horizontal oval. And the F doesn't do that. Or the F is two strokes with the crossbar on top. So we're going to see. We might have to get tricky with some of our connections today. Whoops. Let me lock the focus real quick on the page. And we can dive right into it. I'm cold today. I might have to put on a hoodie in a little bit here. Unless my apartment decides to warm up. It's chilly in Vancouver right now, and my apartment heater, when we get close to zero, when it's like 5 degrees Celsius down to zero, my heater just kind of gives up. I think it decides that there's too much cold air coming from the windows, and it no longer works, which is not very helpful for me. Not what I would call enjoyable. Alright, so connecting the F. I feel like we're gonna have to do a lot of combinations backwards. Like for FA, we're gonna probably have to do like the A or the A to the F potentially. Or I'll have to think of some variations of the F that allow it to continue. It is doable. It's just not gonna be the same type of connections we've been using since we started this little challenge. Warming up, warming up. Warming up has a double meaning today because I am cold. Hello, Hody. How's it going? I can get you guys a little bit closer, I think. You're kind of far away. There we go. We'll have it there and see if I can keep things in frame. I'll do my best. I promise. Hello, PR, calligraphy, and design. Just call you Pam. Sounds good. Welcome to the stream, Pam. Or, I take your message to say that you've been here before, but you've never joined the chat. So, previously known as Lurker Pam, welcome to the chat, Pam. Alright, connecting the F. How are we gonna... We are on F, right? Yeah, we did ES last week. F. How... So if we just do my standard F that I always use, going into like a capital A, we could connect from the crossbar of the F into the A, which is a relatively easy idea. Something about that feels like cheating. I guess it's not really cheating. What up, Moses? feels like cheating. What if I were to do... Could I cut all the way through? Only easy for you. What's going on, Jay? Good evening. Hello, Olivia. I mean, and when I say easy, I don't necessarily mean execution. I just mean design-wise. We already do the crossbar, so it's relatively simple to think about going into something like the oval on the capital A. But I'm also wondering, if we were to do the A, can I cut right through the shade? To do something like... I don't think I like that. Yeah, I don't like it. It was an idea. I didn't like it. It could probably be made to work, but it pulls a little bit too much ink through that big shade. So we could also potentially go over, but then the letter's gonna get quite large. No, I don't like, ooh. I don't like that having to go so far up, because then the implied entry oval of the F is all messed up. Okay. I mean, that would be my initial go-to. I'm glad you like it as well. If I was somewhere and somebody said really quickly, connect an F and an A or make an F and an A, a signature with an F and an A in it. F and an A, that's a lot of syllables in there. F and an A, an F and an A. Yeah. Sorry. I'm distractible today. That would be my initial go-to. It kind of feels like cheating though. What up, Oja Sweeney? So I'm just now, I think that's what I'm gonna end up on. I'm gonna use that one, but I'm just exploring to see if I can stumble upon any ideas that we haven't done yet. Good evening, Marilyn. So seeing what else we can come up with here. We can also do a variation of the F that continues through. Let's say I did... Like, that's a really pretty... Like, the idea of that one, I like a lot more. I think that's... I mean, obviously, this exit, or the cross of the F could be a little bit higher, potentially, or I could change where these ovals finish. Maybe the A would be better to have the horizontal oval below the baseline. But I like that idea. Something about that feels like less cheating than that. Both of them work, and I think they're both good ideas. Shoot, you're late. I mean, Diego, you're only late by 9 minutes. That's hardly late at all. Hello, Jagrudy. Alright, F to the A. F to the A to the blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. Well, today we gotta be creative, because there's gonna be some of these letters that aren't gonna want to go into each other all that well. So today's gonna be a brain day. But I'm gonna leave the F and the A there. I'm curious. I mean, I won't do a poll in the chat, but which idea do you guys like better, 1 or 2? This one up here that crosses from the, or that connects from the crossbar of the F, or the one that connects from the stem? Which is your favorite of the two? Just give me a 1 or a 2 in the chat, because I'm curious. Like, that's a pretty combination. I quite enjoy that. feels more like a connected letter. For some reason, connecting from the crossbar, like I said, it's an easy connection to make, and I'm almost assuredly going to be using it for some connections today. But it feels like a cop-out. It doesn't feel right. Ooh, Jay going for number 1. Here, I'm going to do 1 again as well. So, to give it a second chance without me scribbling all over it. I think they're both cool. Okay, how did I do that? Right, just a regular F. Standard. And then we have our crossbar. I gotta get the flow of that compound curve, and I gotta space out, where my compound curve on the crossbar. It would be nice if it matched parallel to where the entry oval was going. Or, that actually gives me another idea. Check this out. We could also do this. Spending a lot of time on the F and the A, but I feel like what I'm learning now will help us get through some of the other ones a fair bit nicer or quicker, I imagine. I'm guessing. Okay, if I do the F, if I start a little bit farther to the right, and I give my crossbar, or my now from here, because there's going to be a shade there, if I aim correctly, I can in theory go from here and create a trick stroke, so it looks like I did this all in one. I had the A too far away. And then that can follow parallel. So there's another cool option. Whoa, 8 hours travel. That's a lot. That's a long day, Marilyn. I'm jealous you got to go to the show, though. The LA Pen Show was that was my yearly pen show for a long time. All right, so there's 3 versions, 3 ideas that we can use for the FA and connecting with the F. So let's move right along. Now I'm gonna use this the second variation that we played with to go into the B, because we can relatively easily do this. And we can give us one of these. And cross through there. Oops. I lost my hairline here for a sec. But that's an easy way to get into a stem. We'll likely be using that a whole bunch today. I wonder. I'm gonna try something. Was Michael Saul there this year? I have a feeling, I could be mistaken, but Jay, I feel like that might have been a clip from a previous Los Angeles pen show. I don't know that Mike was there this year. Marilyn can confirm, or she can confirm that or tell me that I'm completely wrong. I don't think he was there this year, but like I said, I could be wrong. Okay, what if we... That's a little too artistic, but a neat little idea. If he was there, I feel like you would have seen him. He usually has a pretty decent crowd, because he writes names all day long. Alright, but I like that first variation of FB we did. I mean, he's been to many of the LA Pen shows. Only reason I think that you might have seen a clip from a previous year is I as well saw a clip of him writing names, and I looked at the thing and it ended up being a clip from 2018. But that's because that's where I actually met him originally. Back in the day was at the LA Pen show. Okay, capital C. C, we could do essentially the same thing, but I'm gonna try to connect to it this way. Don't like that. Don't like how dramatic that compound curve has to be to do it that way. How can I do that a little? I guess there's always... The connection can also always be just the cross of the F. Can't it? I think it can. Like something like that is kind of pretty. This line kind of comes out of nowhere, that little crossing one. Ah, yes, because you love rainbows. I like that one though. That's gonna be my FC of choice. What else could I do? Let's see what this other variation looks like. I mean, that's probably, I guess, the prettiest connection. So many ideas we can do. Or we could do the whole thing in one swift stroke, if my hand is gonna be in a good mood. That's pretty as well. If I made the stem of the F a bit shorter, that compound curve could be the connective stroke, perhaps. Made a crazy shaped F there. No, I don't like that as much. I like that idea, or that one. I mean, they're similar, just with one extra loop in that one. Hello, Ashok. Welcome, welcome. There, I think I'm happy with that. Now for the capital D. It's the same idea. We could start this one here and just go straight up into the... But I don't like how that leaves this line just starting somewhere in there. It feels like it wants to start somewhere. What if? This might look terrible, but we're just gonna see what happens. Nope, I don't like it. Also, this doesn't have any entrance. Hey, there's something to try. Tea time. Check this out. I got a package in the mail today, and I'm gonna open it after midnight. If we make it to blacklight hour today, I'm gonna open that. I'm gonna do a live unboxing after midnight. Gasp. Okay. I mean, it's basically picking between one of those three options that I did with the A to see which one I like better with this letter. The one that I think I'm gonna like the best is probably this one. That's probably my favorite connection to the F. Ooh. That's right, Diego. I'm a hoodlum. I live on the wild side. Remove that fake message from somebody who's not a real person. Do. We'll say that. It would also be pretty, that same idea. What? Staying up till 9 is late for you, Diego? I guess you're an old married man now, I suppose. I can't forget that. Could also work with a large crossbar like that. There we go. FD. Those connections work. I think I'm gonna take one quick second to check out my nib under a loop because I've been getting an unusually high number of catches on the paper this evening, and I gotta tell you, I'm not a fan. In bed at 9. I can't imagine. We live two very different worlds, you and I, Diego. Alright, Nib, why are you catching so much? You don't look like you should be. But you are. Where are they coming from? YouTube? They're just around. I think it's a normal thing. Hello, Lori. Alright, let's go FE. The most first idea that pops in my head is obviously this one. For an FE, that's what makes the most sense to my brain. It's the Matrix. Can we do anything? Any other fun ideas? Ooh, this one. We might be able to exit the E going this way. And it might not be quite as abrupt of a... I want to try something. This might not work. But we're going to try it anyways. Because that's what we do. Okay. Where am I going? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. Here we go. All right. So here's our, this is borderline, this is a monogram now. This isn't necessarily connected capitals. Whoops. Nib caught really badly there. I mean, that kind of works. I don't like how I did that A, or that E. I wonder if this should still have the double loop in it. To go that way. Maybe. What up, Brawlin? Hello, hello. It's an interesting idea. I'm not super mad at it. I think it's neat. I mean, there's go-to easy one, and then this interesting letter with the... in that instance, though, it looks like FE instead of EF. No, it looks like EF instead of FE, which is a problem. That's not what we want. So we can't really do that, I guess. We'll stick with that one. I'll remember this for, I mean, for backtracking to EF, because we never did that before, but it's a cool idea. All right. FF. Uh-oh. Well, maybe not uh-oh. Can we cross them both together? Cross this F there, that one there. One line over both of them? Oh, I lost my hairline. I don't like the crossing on the second F. Drawing board. Come on. That's neat. I don't know if I like that giant oval. I don't know the Paul Antonio F, but I would assume that it would be more in grosser script or round hand Then OP. I never said they were serious problems. How can I make that better? Do I like that? I need a better way to cross the second F. First world problem or not. What's going on, Mom? Welcome. What if I do something like this? That doesn't look like enough of a cross, though. Does it? Oh, wait. I guess that's passable. Or it's just two of the same stroke. Maybe that's how it works. Whoops, that was supposed to continue. Let's pretend it continued. We just cross with two of those? I don't like that, it's too messy. There it is. Okay, I got a good idea. Got a good idea. Get it on paper before I forget it. Yeah. This could work. If I do a standard entry, horizontal oval. My hairline keeps disappearing. My tines are a little bit too close together, I think. Or pressing a little too hard. Then we cross that one normally, cross that one there. This is gonna bounce like that to cross that F. This one's technically crossed. We can give it one of these if we want. I like that more. There's a lot going on there, but everything has space except for that little spot there. That oval should be slightly smaller. I like that. Not mad at it. Well, or apparently it's a bit much, says Hody. I like that. That's my favorite so far. I'm giving that a smiley face. I don't care if anybody else likes it or not. Ooh, you know what would actually be nicer? What would balance nicer? Okay, let me do that one more time. Okay. Long horizontal entry. Tick, tick. This is a little loop, like so. This would ideally start right there. I think that's my favorite so far. FU's part of the alphabet, Mom. I gotta do it. There's no hiding from it. It's a connection. I like that. Now we don't have that extra weight. I mean, there's a lot going on up here, but I think I like it. I'm not mad at it. Alright, let's move on. FG. Oh gosh. F. I mean, we can do the G without the horizontal entry. Easy enough. I do a horizontal entry. Wait, what if I do a long horizontal entry again into the F? Uh-oh. Almost didn't give myself enough space. And we cross up here through the G. Like that. That's quite pretty. Accent shade here would be perfect to balance the shade on the top of the F. That's a pretty letter combination. Let me just assess my nib real quick so that my hairlines don't keep disappearing. So you guys can see them. Maybe I'll blame it on the cold. It is really cold in here right now. I was hoping that my lights would warm me up once I turn them on, because they generate a little bit of heat, not a ton, but usually when I start the stream, I start to warm up, but I'm cold today. And my heater is not keeping up with the cold outside. The puddle in the back alley outside my apartment is currently frozen, which means it definitely dipped back to cold the past couple of days. Oh, get out of here, Marilyn. I don't want to hear about your cold in California, too. That's a different cold. Okay. I just threw my loop across the room. 2 seconds. How did that happen? Boy! Did I break it? No. Okay. I like that FG. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not even going to mess with any other versions of the G. Because I like that. I like the line that crosses over the F. Takes the place of what would be the G. I mean, in a perfect world, if I were to execute it perfectly, this cross of the F would end up matching this, like, this horizontal oval part here would match this part like the top of a regular G would be. So it would follow parallel and then go down after that. But I'm not going to stress about getting that perfect like that right now. It is cold everywhere for some reason. Another one. Why are my streams getting these bot messages lately? I'm gonna have to turn on some more security. All right, let's go to FH. FH. Okay, we just gotta get into a... Can I do this cleverly in a way? I mean... This is gonna be silly. I'm gonna try to do... Yo, Diego, when I initially looked up, I was like, oh, there's another one. I was about to erase another message. That tripped me up for a sec. Well done. Minus 24. Brr. See, but, and I don't mind if it's cold outside. My issue with the cold right now is just that my apartment, when it gets down to 5 degrees or lower, my apartment can't keep up. And actually, when I went to get groceries today, my landlord saw me in the hallway and she asked me if I was cold because it's an issue in the whole building. And they're trying to get the owners or whatever to properly fix the issue because it's a problem. The heaters just basically give up when it gets a certain temperature. Like, it doesn't even feel like my heater's trying to put out any heat. It just gets to a certain chill level and everything just shuts off, which is not helpful because I don't feel like plugging in my space heater. Okay, what was I gonna do? Right, FH. Let me see if this works. This is gonna be probably too creative for its own good, but this is like a ligature variation. If I go... But then I cross it. Nope, because that doesn't look like a stem. Okay, what if I make that look more like a stem? It's one letter, F and H. No, that just looks like FC or an H. Never mind. Not a good idea. It just looks like an H. Yeah, or an FC. Okay. Didn't it work? I mean, obviously we can do... We know that doing it this way works. Ooh. That works too. Oh wait, no, that connected from this one. I don't need all those lines connecting there, so this would go compound over, just over everything, or all the way to the bottom, or through there, but that might be too far. Tell you what, I'm gonna do not the looped variation of the H. We're gonna do this variation. What up, George? Celsius gang. That's us. I changed back. Now we can have this. Whoa, why the nib snap? That H. Give that a little shade just for fun. Not a very clean line, but that's okay. And then we can cross the whole thing. Like that. There's a pretty FH. If the last line on the H was nicer. I kind of feel like I would like the 8F more if it had a horizontal entry oval, I think. Just personal preference. There we go. That's pretty. It was rainy here earlier. No, yesterday. I guess it didn't rain today. Yesterday was a rainy day. Cold and rainy. We're just having, I mean, Vancouver's not usually that cold right now, but the back alley hasn't frozen over in quite a while now. Thanks a lot, Skeet. This is by my friend Mr. Cams. You can check him out on Instagram. He gave this to me when we were teaching together in Poland a few years ago. The year before the lockdowns. I mean, that's a good point to make, George, about gauging the distance between letters. This is something that I get asked all the time, or when people do signature designs or things like that, and they show them to me to judge or to critique or whatnot, one of the biggest things that usually is apparent is the distance between letters. And the way I like to think of it, and I've mentioned this I believe on here before, but capital letters all kind of take up, like I call it like an oval of space. So say this F. The F is going to take approximately that much space, not including large entrance and exit ovals. Like if we have our entrance and exits, they're usually something like this. Those are our flourishes. If we don't do extra flourishes, that's kind of what they take. But this is the main body of the letter itself fits in there. And that's, obviously it's not going to be exactly that, but approximately, like a capital C fits in there, a D fits in there, the F fits in, just all that kind of amount of space. Even letters that aren't necessarily angled ovals. So then if you take the next letter, you think of basically the next oval. That is usually the farthest away that I would want to put that letter. With connecting capitals, it's not a rule, but one kind of guideline that I like to follow is I don't want the letters to be spaced out more really than that, or they're going to look too far apart. But if the letter design allows for space, they can be tucked closer together without looking bad. But if they get far apart, they're pretty much always going to look bad. When capital letters are far apart, it always happens. Like one issue that happens quite a lot is, say like in this instance, say we were doing an H and an F, and the F had this long exit oval coming out of it. If somebody's used to doing really big exit ovals, if we were to do just say a simple F, or sorry, a simple H, and then I was gonna do an F coming out of that, in my brain, that shade should, like, there's the oval of that H, so the oval of the F would be right about there, which means my shade would want to be finishing sort of around there. But if I do, say, this variation of the H, it has a whole oval coming out of it, which means it would shade and that oval would have to come way out here. So that's where you have to make decisions. Like if you wanted to do that variation of the F, that's where penmen back in the day would drop it below the baseline and bring that line way over here, or make it be part of the design. Because if you made the F, I'll just draw one so we get the idea. If I made the F so there was space for that oval, that F and H are way too far apart, to my eye anyways. And that's something that I think until you get used to creating them and seeing them, that's one thing that's easy to miss. Because when you're first learning the letter forms, or when you're not first learning them, but for a lot of people, this portion is part of the letter, but it isn't. It's part of the flourish. This is the letter, and this is just the exit oval that's coming off of that stem. So, like in this instance, what I would do, it's similar to, same idea as here. I would use F variation that has the shade cut off, like that, instead of continuing through. Unless, in this example here, an H wouldn't really continue through. But if I want to continue, this F leaves me room. So it could continue through, and the F can get closer. So those letters can be close without that exit oval getting in the way. But where the H was concerned, with this little loop and everything that's here, the stem on the F would be, you could do it, I guess. It could go here and straight through that shade and around there. So it would be possible, but it has the potential of making this look a little messy. So it's just something you have to be aware of. But as a general rule, just think of the letter form. Like, look at these two F's, for example. We have our F taking up its space, and then right beside it, the next F taking up its space. We have the space between those two stems versus, and we don't want to stray too much from that, aside from the times when things can be a little bit closer together. An example of the closer together is earlier when we did this variation of the F and the A. Because the F starts with a compound curve, and the A has a direct oval coming in, they can both kind of seat into each other, similar to how you'd use like ligatures for in like foundational hand and stuff like that to get letters. Like a round letter, you'd make the I closer to it because it, or you'd make like a lowercase t closer to an O because the O juts in to keep even optical spacing throughout the whole piece. It's that type of idea. You want sort of similar optical spacing all the time in regards to the base of the letter form and not the flourishes that extend from it. I guess that's the, take every rambly thing that I just said and boil it down to what I'm trying to say, and that's that your spacing is based off of the base form, or the base form, and not the flourishes entry and exit that are coming off of the base form. If you space off of those, then there's a good chance your letters are going to end up too far apart pretty much all the time. So that's where a lot of thought has to get put into what can go where without wrecking sort of the shape of everything and the spacing. I mean, kind of. I mean, it's music, you're dealing with your sound and then your negative space and all that kind of stuff. Same idea. We're just filling space in the cleanest and prettiest way possible, and that's basically all art forms, essentially. But I like that for our FH, so we're gonna move right on to, I can't remember the alphabet today. Oh, FI. Crap. We're back to our I. How do I want to do this? Might have to do... Can I do the I first? I mean, the cop-out way would be to do this. At least it feels kind of like a cop-out to me. If we go... FI works that way. I don't love it, because it feels like a cop-out. Obviously, this would be nicer if it was actually following parallel. But then this would be a little shorter to there, so that we have even spacing in that little bit. Hello, Fozzie. Welcome, welcome. You're just in time for FI. How else can I go into the I? Oh, I guess it could... We couldn't do this the other day because the letter we were going into, or if we could, I didn't think about it. Can we do this? If I start my I below the baseline... It's a little creative. Huh. It's interesting because I now wanna cross the F, but also this little like mohawky thing on top is kind of already making a cross for the F a little bit. It could even be like a little loop like that that's already crossing the F. That's alright. You're allowed to be late. The only person who's not allowed to be late is me, I guess. So that's an idea. Or something like this. Oh, wrong way. That didn't work. Let me try again. Did you finish your black paper job, Fozzie? There's also that possibility. This would ideally go here. I don't like it. The idea is there, and I think it could work. But I don't know that I like it yet. Let me try one more thing. Oh, yay, that's nice. A minor side effect? What happened? I'm curious. There's another one. I gotta get used to doing that shape backwards, because ideally this would be more of a compound curve. Coming in there. Crossing right in the middle of the eye. But that idea would work. It's unique. I think, though, I would probably do what I called my go-to cop-out option. That one right there. I'm thinking. Could also potentially... Let me get a new sheet. I will try something else. No, that looks like I'm trying to do... That looks like Fij if I did it that way. Nope. I was wondering if I could get into there somehow from the end of the crossbar, but then that's too much going on that side. Nope, can't work. Nice, Diego. I'm trying to think, did I pencil? I've only ever done one wedding. I'm trying to remember if I did pencil or not for it. I wasn't doing movement writing yet at that point, but I don't remember. I think I'm gonna stick with the idea that I originally did. The cop-out one. like so. I don't like that my nib is snapping so much today. I might have to trade it in for a new one in a little bit here. Alright, FJ. How to get into the J. I mean, again, it's a cop-out, but the instant reaction if I was working an event or somebody and somebody came and asked for it, I would go like this. Whew, there's a lot going on there. That's how I would do. That's a very complicated FJ. But that's how I would do it. I didn't imagine it was quite that busy in my mind. There wasn't quite so many lines. But there's bound to be a better way to do that. I feel like if I had to do wedding jobs, I would get comfortable with a phantom liner, I think. Maybe. Or a laser liner, I guess. I'd have to mess with both of them and see which one I prefer. Oh, we could maybe do this. Oh. Wait a minute. I think I have a way to make this look cool. Is that too close together? Or maybe that's too close together. This line was supposed to cross through the stem. So the stem is supposed to be there. Okay. Take two. Oh, and then this would be a full compound curve. Like that. That's cool. Uh-oh, did you leave it at the event? That's no fun. Yeah, I feel you, George. I wish the line wizard wasn't so much. They are handy. They are fun little tools to use. I mean, I don't have a line wizard. I have a vintage one, but I would like to have one of Skylar's eventually. There we go. FJ. Ignore the fact that my two that I'm on completely different slants for the two letters. I say ignore it, but then I do this, so you can't possibly ignore it. Very wrong stem or slant lines. Let me try that again to get the right slant line. I pull my J at such an extreme angle. Always. That compound curve on top is wonky, but I like the idea. The concept there is nice. The shape of this is the main part that needs fixing. And then it would be better. But I like the fusion of the two. That's very true, Fuzzy. Nice V. Did I write a V? What? Oh, ahaha. I understand. Thanks. Yeah, my J's are always slightly too slanted, and my stem strokes tend to be too straight up and down when I allow myself to go on autopilot and don't pay enough attention. Alright, so there's FJ. Let's go FK. FK, we can go back to basically standard. Like so. Oh, I'm writing really big all of a sudden. I gotta tone it down a little bit. Simple FK, we're just gonna leave that one at that. Yep. Leave that there. FL. We're going to use that same connection technique because it's easy to get into the stem of the L. FL. FK, well, with the I guess we haven't done a KA yet. Eventually we'll have a really good connection for the KA as well, and then we can do FKA that looks really dope for twigs. That's not a very great connection. Ignore that. Alright. I like that FL. It's easy. We're gonna use that connection for a lot of the stem stroke letters. Now we gotta do FM. Oh, opposite direction. Okay. So for this one, we're gonna do a little, oh, maybe this might not work. Is that too simple? entrance of the M work for a crossing of the F? Ugh, I don't like that. Too many weird angles going on. I mean, simplicity is nice. I think I want the F. For this one, I would want the F to be slightly shorter, I think. I'm going to try it one more time, a little bit shorter. What's going on, Mohamed? Hello, hello. Nice to see you. Lurker James would be happy to hear you say that, Fozzie. M. Oh, I made that too far there, but yeah, there's our FM connection. Oh, just because you said the little loop is cute. Lurker James loves little loops in designs, and that's what he says every time I put one in. Oh, nice. Yeah, holiday. We had a national holiday yesterday, I believe. Family Day was yesterday. Alright. N, we're gonna stick to the same thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Something happened to my hairline right there. FN, that works. Easy peasy. Moving on. FO. FO. How do we get into the A? Oh. So we could do the connection like we did the very, very first FA, potentially. Like so. Awkward angles there, but maybe hairline first and then a shade second. Will look nicer. I feel like this is one of those ones where I want to do the trick connection though. Bah! Oh yeah, if I do the... I have to be really careful if I do the shade second, or it will definitely look like a capital C. So maybe I do have to do the shade first when it's a connection like this. Okay. Don't love it. But that's primarily because of the execution of the O. Gritty texture? George, I can't say that I've ever experienced a gritty texture while writing with blots before. So I don't know what that's about. What? It says Z and not Z? Well, your Canadian friend or your Canadian cousin seems to have purchased an American toy. We don't say Z round here. We don't talk We don't say Z around here. We say Z. It's not a Canadian accent at all. Nor was it trying to be. Okay, how can I do this better? How can I do this better? Maybe we go from the same compound curve. Oval. Nope, that looks like C. The first one's gotta be shaded. Or it doesn't look right. Those are too close together. But I like that connection. That's weird. French is more Z than English is. Than Canadian English. YZ. Weird. FO. Fo. Not mad at it. Execution. Not the Zed. A, B, D, seed, C. I guess everything else is Z. Not Zed, Diego. FP. FP. Ooh, here, let's do a... Let me try something here. Super simple? Didn't leave myself enough space. This is an example of where what we were talking about earlier, George. If I want to do this kind of exit, I have to either bring them really close together so it exits right through the middle of the thickest point, will look best, or doesn't at all. But if they don't connect at all, I feel like the letters will be too far apart. Maybe. My hairlines keep disappearing. I mean, I like that idea. I do think they're too far apart, though. We Z'd. Did I do my French practice today? That's a good question. I don't remember. I keep forgetting to do it in the daytime, or forget to do it in the daytime. Thank you for the reminder. No, I didn't, alright? Well, this is awkward again for the second week in a row. I have to do my French practice, or I'll get in trouble. It'll just take me a couple minutes. We'll pause the writing for a sec, and I'm gonna do my French lesson for the day. Sorry, everybody. Le croissant est bon. Les croissants sont bons. Un chien blanc. Vert blanc. Go as fast as I can. Ma mère est anglaise. Les femmes américaines. Je voyage avec ma mère. Paul et mon frère. Oh, crap! Yeah, that was a stupid mistake. They are funny. I was trying to go too fast and I messed up.
Français. Elles sont françaises. Ils sont français. Elles sont françaises.
Elle est contente. Elles sont contentes.
Contente.
It sounds like all the same thing, but I'm going over different spellings of the punctuations and stuff. They're making me choose the right ones. Your salad is ready. Ton salade. What? Oh, ta. Why? Because salad is feminine, of course. That's the most ridiculous thing about French, is that you have to remember every item in the world is either feminine or masculine, and there's no real rule that tells you which is which. It doesn't make sense. Proof that it doesn't make sense is that cats are masculine, which doesn't make any sense. My coffee, my house, my bikes. I'm probably gonna get this one wrong. Mon café, ma maison, mes vélos. Yeah!
Ta sœur est intelligente.
Ta sœur est intelligente. Bouillard. La voiture est grande. Les filles sont petites. A green car. Une voiture verte. Like car, feminine. Taxi, masculine. Why? Oh, Diego's leaving. Good night, Diego. Sorry too that a French lesson interrupted our stream today. Almost done. Darn it. Ah, done. That was a bad lesson. I was only half paying attention. Oh, advertisement. Okay, back to it. Just doesn't make any sense to have the feminine and masculine thing. Or if they're gonna be feminine and masculine, cool. But there should be a reason. Like, why is the pen one or the other? It doesn't make any sense to me. There's like, whenever you ask somebody like, well, like genuinely or generally, like pets are masculine, but it's generally. It's not always. They're just like vague rules that don't always apply. Okay. FP. I think that's a much nicer connection of the two. They're a little bit closer together. I like this other one. They're just too far apart. Unless I could come up and cross those two, that shades would get mighty close together. Well, let's try it, just for fun. It's possible, Fozzie. It's very possible. I mean, it's likely, considering the time. I guess that kind of makes for the crossing of the F as well, going into the P, maybe. Yeah, we don't really have to have that extra cross on the F, but it looks pretty. So between those two, we have two designs that work. Q. PQ. Too close together again. So I can't fit that in there. Yeah, do that farther apart. The F looks this F? So this F was supposed to have one. It disappeared. It does have one there. That was supposed to be there on that F. If that's the one you were talking about, it looking beheaded. It was supposed to have one, it just disappeared. Which is happening an awful lot today. That's better. FQ, that's pretty. I wonder, we could also do, potentially, don't like that as much. Yeah, true, George. Somehow, somebody made the decision. Alright, I think I like that FQ. I'm gonna use the long Q. We could always do the FO we did with compound curve. Not gonna bother doing a 2Q because I don't feel like it. I just don't want it. Alright, FQ, FR. For real. This one we can keep nice and simple. Like so. That works. If we don't like the way that little shape fits in there, that whole thing could start with a compound curve F instead. Yeah. Luckily I don't do wedding work, so I don't have to deal with that. I would assume for wedding work you use an O with a little squiggle. I guess for wedding work, I would probably pretty much always resort to... I had to do a commission actually last week, and I kept the cross hairline, but I just gave it one of those in nice hairline. Ugh, I would never, I wouldn't do the 2Q unless somebody specifically requested it. I would not do the 2Q by choice, I don't think. Okay, FS. S. Gotta make sure we take up enough horizontal space that there's room for the end of the S. Like so. Crossing from here is like a cheat code because you can go into so many of the letters. They are a little far apart though. But if I bring them closer, the only other thing I can do is bring the S around through that shape, which I'll try, but it might end up looking too close then. Might work. Maybe just a regular compound curve on top. Like so. Does that read as SF? Maybe. Or gotta make that loop on the F small. Or that. SF. I made that. I got a little overzealous. Maybe. One more time. My S shape is very weird. I think that's better. That works. Minus the line that got lost up there. I like that. It would also look good using one of the S's. Oh no, you wouldn't want to do... I was thinking of doing a compound curve S, but you can't because this line will be then compounding twice, changing or waving twice, and we don't want that. That's usually a no-no most of the time. Alright. FT. What do we do for FF? It's basically the same thing. Oh yeah. Which of those did I like better? Yeah, let's do that one. FT. Oh, was that supposed to keep going? Shoot, it was. Darn it. Like that, except done better. Alright, have a good night, Mom. Thanks for hanging out. It's just getting colder and colder in here. I'm putting the hoodie on. There's a part of me that's debating getting out my space heater. I'm gonna take these off for a moment. I don't want to get my space heater. I feel like I shouldn't have to, but when I go to bed I'll be fine, but sitting up here writing is rather chilly. Sweet dreams, Mom. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, I don't like writing as much with a hoodie on. But it is cold, and I feel like it's just getting colder. Okay. that's not what I wanted to do. That's the wrong shape. That's true, George. It's a very good point. I did it again. This is supposed to continue. Shoot. We're gonna be happy with that. Minus. Maybe today's just a rough writing day. Or this nib is screaming for retirement. One or the other. Yeah, definitely a good idea to bring something warm always for the ballrooms, because they can get pretty darn chilly. Ooh, Florida. That's fun, Lori. Well, have a good night and have fun packing and have a good trip. Is it a vacation or are you going for work? Don't understand why this nib is being so problematic. It's bugging me. Let me get... Let's give it a quick one of these. Vacate, nice. Enjoy. Well, have fun packing and safe travels tomorrow. And enjoy your vacay. See if that did anything. What's the longest time with one nib? Well, I haven't really been tuning or sharpening nibs for very long. So I would say probably around, it's recent, it's whatever nib I was using in August. I would say probably somewhere between 4 to 6 months with one nib, which is, to be quite honest, too long. At that point, the metal, it's lost a lot of its, or it's fatigued quite a lot, so it doesn't snap back, which is why I check them so often, because it gets misaligned very, very easily. But prior to the summertime, an iron gall nib will last me like a couple days or a week. Without tuning, now, like if I was writing with this ink and this paper, I don't think I could go probably more than a couple days without wanting to do some form of sharpening or getting a new nib, I'm guessing. Just because, I get fed up when the line isn't as good as it could be. But then I tune the nib basically every writing session now. It's just normal to do it. So I get a lot more longevity out of them. But depending on the nib you're using, like if you're using a Nico G or something, you're good for a long time with that one, so long as it doesn't rust. But for iron gall, which is it's the only thing I write with now these days, for no real reason other than I just like it. Gives me good hairlines. Without the tuning, they wouldn't last very long. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly, essentially why I keep all my nibs as well, George. Because once they get not super nice for Spencerian or ornamental penmanship, they're still good for white ink a lot of the times. They're still good for engrossers. They're still good for so many other applications. So I kept a lot of them, or pretty much all of them. And now that I tune them, now I can use them for OP again after, even when they're beyond their prime, which is nice. What were we on? FT, right. I think we were just finishing FT. See if I fixed this nib or made it worse. Oh, that wasn't supposed to be a line. Yeah. My brain forgot what we were doing. I mean, if you're using Iron Gall ink, Marilyn, it doesn't matter how many times you clean it or how often you clean it, it's gonna get busted. Eventually. But yes. Getting in the habit of cleaning your nibs often is very helpful. There. FT, we'll leave it at that. That works. Yeah, that's true, George. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. Oh, F, U. My mom left right in time. F, U. I mean, my instinct is to do this. I made that shade too big, but that's the instinct I have. Let me do it again with a little bit of what they call proportion. The grown man, you. Nice. F you. That's how I would do that connection. FV, same thing. Ugh, that's an ugly V. Let's do that again. They get so tall so quick. Ah, yeah. Sumi will get you. Sumi or Iron Gall or Walnut for me would be my main inks. Or fountain pen inks, but they just stain so bad. They're just so messy. And I don't want to really deal with gum arabic and adding stuff to them and all that stuff, so I like to keep it chill. FV, not the best execution in the world, but it gets the job done. You guys had a little domestic dispute, did you, Fozzie? I guess the W, this is the same type of thing we did for the M would work for the W. so. All right, gotta cross it. My F is too tall. In a perfect, or ideally the F would go right about there. And I'd be happy, but I like that. FW. Inconcealable differences. Oh no, inconsolable. Concealable. Me and English aren't getting along today very well. I wish I need my camera to be closer to the chat. Because I always am looking off frame instead of looking at you guys. And I should be looking there. But I'm always looking there, because that's where the chat is. Hey. Hello, Benny. Welcome. FW. Let's do another one of those FWs, see if we can't get it looking a little bit better. I mean, we could also do the FW like we did the FU and V. Technically. Oh, maybe. That works. Gosh. FW. That also looks nice. Yeah, that was the way we did the M and the N. That's what I did first. I think if you wanted to drink a lot, the best drinking game... what up, Mike? What up, Aardvarks? The best drinking game would be to take a drink every time I think what I probably say the most is, this might look terrible. I say that a lot. This might not work, or this might look bad, something like that. I say that quite often. Alright, I'm gonna do this FW again. Oh, I guess maybe that's what you meant, Fozzie. We could do we could technically use that connection for the U and the V as well. Wait, let me try that. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. It also works for the U and the V. Every time I say tea time, well, I tend to forget to say tea time. For Toga Tuesday? That was James's idea. Maybe one day. I figured James would be in here suggesting or asking why I wasn't wearing a toga today. For Togate, which apparently is to wear a toga, which I did not know. Chocolate Mike 2. Oh, just Swinny and her nicknames. Ooh, I slowed down there a lot. Why did I go so slow? I forgot what I was doing partway through. FW. I don't like the execution on that one quite as much. We'll do one more, then we're moving on. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, I meant to say Happy Tuesday to everybody. Because today is Tuesday. It's the Tuesday. 22nd of February 2022. All right. WX. We're gonna use the exact same connection for the X as we used for the W. Greetings from the future. Oh yes, you're no longer on Tuesday anymore. For Tuesday. Come on. Connect the F's or the X's. That's such a silly mistake to make. Not here it wasn't, Ojaswini. Still the 22nd. We don't live in the future over here. There we go. FX. Wasn't paying attention to my exit oval and went kind of crazy. Too big, but that's alright. FY. We can use the same thing as we used for the V. I don't say twerk that often. That's usually Lori and Ojaswini that talk about that one. I say wonky, and I don't usually say kinky, but I say that there's a kink. I say that a fair bit. That's very true. Today I definitely said my hairline disappeared a lot. I have a lot of go-to sayings, I guess. Yeah, FY. Fi. I like that. I like that Y a lot lately. It feels good to write. I do say what's wrong with this nib quite often. Oh man. When it comes to shirts, George, I have about... There's way too many designs in line that I have to do now. Mike's imaginary friend. Are you talking about Leon? Who was still here? Leon commented last week at the very, very end of the stream. Leon said, what up? Thank you very much, Mike. It's a nice one. And now, FZ, which we're going to use just because it... Oh, maybe I'll use the connection we did for the W for the Z, because it gives me a little bit more of a round reversed oval. Wait, where am I going? Right here. Like so. I can do better. That doesn't look good, that one. Let me try again. I need the F to be shorter. Another bot. It's not a bot. His profile picture on YouTube matches his picture on Instagram. It's really him. Why are my shades so ugly? That Z shade. Why? You know why. Because you slowed down. That's why. Can't do that. There we go. FZ. He looks like C-3PO. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it from FA all the way to FZ. I don't believe we missed any in the middle, because somebody probably would have called me out if we did. But I think we made it. So, I say we move right along to the word of the day. Let's knock that one out while we're here. I think next week for Late Night Live, I might take a slight break from the connected alphabet and do something else. I don't know what else yet. If you have any ideas, let me know. But I might do something else. Just as a change of pace. Oh, just when you don't like that F? Is that your way of saying we're not done with the FZ? All right. Well, here, let's do another one then. So just when he's not happy with the one we did, so we'll do another one. Oh, I won't forget about my package, don't worry. But we gotta wait till midnight. Okay, FZ. Because just when he doesn't like the one that we did. Let's do this one. There. FZ, not falling over. You know, it would be neat. I don't know if this will work or not. Oh, CS. I think I say that basically once every alphabet combination possibility. This might not work, but I'm gonna try it because I genuinely don't know that if half of these connections are gonna work. I'm breaking the rules of not having a clear idea in my mind of what I'm trying to execute. I'm just trying to think really fast on the fly sometimes, because it's fun. But what if we were to do something like this? Now, not a very good reversed oval shade, but it'll work. That went too far. Nope, I don't like that as much. In my mind, that worked out better, and it could work out. I just have to be more disciplined in the writing of it. Watch this. This is gonna not work even more. We're gonna do the whole thing in one stroke, minus the tick. Cricket. The idea is there. First and the last one, not really, because the first one, you can't really do anything else up here. If you do it, I mean, I could do a cross to go here, but then the F has to be a lot shorter, and I feel like it'll be messy. I like that one. I think that one looks good. It could use a tiny accent shade down there, but I don't think it needs it. But because there's one up there, we'll give it one just for fun. I like that FZ. Get to fumigator. Alright, now, I don't care if Otis when he doesn't like it. I'm moving on. said eating the F. I mean, yeah, kinda. All right. What is our word of the day today? Refresh. Oh. Onology? Enology. Enology. Okay. Oh, short definition today. The science of viniculture. I don't know what viniculture is. How you gonna give me a definition that has a word that I don't know in it? All right. Oh, there I was playing with this week's signature. Oh! I was supposed to film... It's Tuesday today, right? I meant to film my breakdown today. I'll film it tomorrow morning. And post the breakdown of the signature tomorrow. This signature, I feel like, doesn't really require much of a breakdown because it's not that complicated. It's not easy, but because nothing really connects. It's about wine. The science of wine culture? Viniculture. I have to get dictionary.com app and search viniculture. The science or study of making wines. So essentially, enology is the science of making wines. Or it's the science of making wines, technically. Okay, starting with a capital O today. Pressure's on. Oenology. Oh wait, I should have done hairline first. I'm writing not on a straight line at all. Enology. Okay. Let's see how long this definition or how it's going to space out. This is going to be quick. This will be easy peasy. One long line, or should I put viniculture on the next line? Maybe I'll do it all in one line, and then I can do a swipeable version for Instagram. Well, that's pretty no nonsense. The UK-Canada spelling. What's the spelling of which word? What word are you referring to, George? What am I spelling like a Canadian or a UK person? Is it? Oh. Is it spelled with an E in the US? potato mashed. Well, that's fun. Alright, capital O. Let's practice our capital O's, shall we? I might do that O, because I can do it more consistently. Yep. That's what I'm gonna do, just in the interest of time and cleanliness of the final product. Okay, that works. Let's write it for real. Oh, it doesn't let me do it over and over again like it did before. The website's like, we're on to you, Mike. No longer. Well, I know the US drops a lot of the OUs, like in color and things like that. Or like a bank check, you guys get rid of the UE on the end. I remember having so many issues with just my spell check on my computer, always telling me that I was spelling things wrong when I was just spelling them the way that I was taught. Oh, Marilyn, you're leaving? All right. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you next week. Have a splendid evening. Have a good sleep. Okay. Brr, still so cold. All right. Check the nib to make sure our hairlines are looking exactly like we want them to. That should work. Okay, capital O. Yeah. We can do better. We can go smoother than that, I think. Sorry, my head might get in the way. My hat, I mean. My hairline disappeared on the... when I started making the E. Is that good enough, or should I do it again? I'm gonna write it again. Just 'cause we're feeling picky today. Enology. Alright, now the science of viniculture will take up that much space. We'll start approximately right there. Move over so I'm in camera. You be quiet, Ojaswinny. I mean the E's, they're a little, it's a little closed in. Slightly. Gonna cheat a little bit to get this H. No! I might have to do the whole thing again. Yep. And the hairline between the S and the C as well. What's going on? That's infuriating. No, my nib isn't writing lines when it's supposed to. Which means my tines are pressing together too tightly. I guess. Stop it. Those hairlines were really nice too. I wish it didn't do that. Okay. Seems to be behaving again. Yes, this is a Hunt 101. It is indeed. But I guess a custom one, it's been sharpened. I don't like that L as much as I did the last time I wrote it, but that's okay. The science of... Oh, period. The science of viniculture. There we go. That will get the job done. Now what should we do? I could work on this week's Sig Slingin' Sunday, or I could just do some random writing. We could do a quote or a poem. What are you guys thinking? Or we could start connecting G to every other letter. Or, yeah. What do you guys think? What should we do? Oh, connecting G is going to be tough. I don't know that I want to do that right now. Maybe I'll just do some random practice. The chat has gone quiet. Poetry is a good go-to. Yeah. Do that again. Fix that last shade. Well done, Fozzie. You got it all done. That's good. Now you have eraser shavings everywhere. Poetry. Well, maybe I will pick a piece. I rarely do this. Maybe I'll pick a piece and replicate something. I haven't done that in a while. Let's see what we got here. I won't do this for a Sig Slingin' Sunday because people will complain if I do. But we could try to do that. Maybe. As a fun little silly challenge. What else we got in here? Well, we could do Brownfield's. What is it? No. I mean, that's a good quote. Alexander Hamilton quote. Men give me the credit for genius, but all the genius I have lies in this. When I have a subject on hand, I study it profoundly The effect I make they call the fruit of genius. It is, however, the fruit of labor and thought. Alexander Hamilton. That is a dope quote. Saul's poems are long. I could write one of his poems, but Mike's poems are long. I like that quote by Alexander Hamilton. Could also do this one by Frank Dempster Sherman about friendship. We've done that one before. I don't have a ton of these examples in my phone. Well, here, Mike, you give me a haiku, and I will write it. I did say haiku because I like the haiku anime, the volleyball anime called haiku. I can't even wrap my head around that. H.L. Darner signature. Where is that even going? Curious. He starts with the shade. I'm just going to try to write it without any real pre-planning. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. Oh, that's too many. It just goes around twice. 1, 2, yeah. Shade, 1, 2. Okay, that was right then. Here we go. Sounds good, Mike. In the meantime, I'm gonna try to write this Darner signature just to be ridiculous. There's supposed to be a shade right there, but that's okay. Then he adds... Holy moly! Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do this tonight. Because this second line goes from down here to there to there. That's supposed to fit in there somehow. To come down here. Jeepers. Oh, and then that goes up in there. Wow! Haiku. Nib catch on fibers. Kinks all over my letters. Hairlines, where'd they go? See, now that would be a good shirt, because that's definitely the energy of the late night live. All right, I'm gonna write that. Haiku. Nibs catch on fire. Here, we'll see what all the writing looks like first, and then we'll space it out somehow that works good. Nibs catch on fibers. This is gonna be our rough draft, and we'll do a better one later. That's literally every single late night live. That's why this is like, it's like the late night live mantra. What does that say about me? Kinks all over my letters. Nice. You are indeed, George. It's true. Kinks all over my letters. Kinks all over my letters. Hairlines, comma, where'd they go? Oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that ending D. Because it gets in the way of my Y. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, am I on autofocus? I sure am. Let me zoom out just a little bit. And then I'll lock focus. Oh yeah, I went to autofocus because I was showing my phone. Sorry. My apologies. Okay. Now, how can we make this? Let's do one of... Let's do... I'm gonna try to do one of the fancy things that those guys always did. I'm gonna try to do my capitals smaller. And I'm gonna try to do something like... We bring nibs up here. Something like, I don't like the way that looks. Because nib, the M isn't, or the N isn't big enough. I want to do something like that though. Maybe I do it off of the S instead. It's a chill track. Or we make nibs just huge compared to everything else. Ugly shade, but... Oh, and then it would be from there. Nibs all over my whatever. Kinks, my letters. Hairlines, where'd you go? Does that look good? I don't like how high this goes. Or maybe it's not the height that I don't like. It's the abruptness of that. Maybe if it was like that, I would like it more. Yeah. So the other capitals will be quite small. In theory. Okay. Let's do that. I don't know how to do a quill and scroll flourish at the bottom. I mean, unless I just finish it with, as I'm coming around. I'm definitely not doing a bird. I could just finish it with one of the way I underline signatures all the time. Just simply with one of those. Since I use that all the time. Yeah. A bird would look great, Fozzie. Not saying that it wouldn't. But this guy doesn't do birds. It's one of those things that my brain always tells me, you should practice doing birds. And then I respond to myself, you know, you're right, I probably should. I feel like I'd be able to do them once I wrap my head around their structure and everything. And I just have no real desire to flourish birds. It's not something that I ever really care to have to do. It's not to say that I might not one day want to do them more. I just have no real desire to flourish birds. I don't know why. Every time I see them, I think they're gorgeous, and I literally think, oh, I need to do that. I need to work on those. Like lately, Brian's been doing a ton of birds. Colby's doing some really awesome birds. I mean, everybody else who's always posting good birds, who does a lot of the flourishing, they look awesome. And every time I see the post, I think, I should do that. But I really don't want to. And for no real reason. One day, probably, I will figure out how to flourish birds of some sort. I would rather flourish something else. Like even the swans I prefer more than the birds, but I just don't want to draw bird or write birds all the time. I'd like to think it's something else, but everything else that they used to flourish back in the day looks gimmicky. Birds don't look gimmicky, they look elegant and beautiful. I just don't feel like flourishing birds ever. I would like to get better at flourishing quills and things like that, but it's just not something I practice very often, or nearly often enough. Alright. I wonder if I should also use just a standard variation of the N, rather than that weird one that I've been using lately. octopus flourishes would be cool. They'd be tough to plan out. There's a lot of tentacles. Okay. Oh. Not a very impressive ascender on that H. Nibs catch on fibers. Kinks all over my letters. Ugh, messed up. The big N might not be a good idea. But to start, kinks all over my letters, hairlines, where'd you go? Now there's a challenge, Mike. Okay, now. I'm gonna let this dry, this stuff, because I have to glide my fingers over that. I don't like that long compound curve to get all the way to the end. It works when Brownfield did it because his M was huge in this example that I'm looking at. He puts one like right here, which I guess I could do. Just go for it. See what happens. Don't overthink it. We'll just see what happens. Not the worst. My hairline disappeared there, so holds true to the haiku. It could be cool if it was formatted a little bit better. The idea is fun. It's something I can definitely work on. Another variation of the N might be better. Big question, though. Do you guys like the really large N, or should all the capitals be the same size? That's kind of an important thing to figure out. Is it weird with one large capital and two small capitals? I'll show you just the one that I was looking at, which might not be, or might not be the ideal thing to do. So you can see there, the M. So it's because there was no other capitals, or no other, other than the body capitals, which were done quite small. But so that compound curve could go way up high and still wasn't as high as the top of the M flourish. And then go all the way down to the bottom. I'm not a huge fan of how this oval is angled and how these ones then go to flat. Not a big fan of that transition. I would prefer them all be angled, or ideally all be flat. I'd prefer them all to be flat. But if they're flat, this compound curve has to be so long, and then it looks awkward. All right, Mike, thanks for hanging out. Have fun at work. I'm gonna try one with a small N and making the flourish off of the S on fibers. So I want to try to keep, I could space the lines out more vertically, but I want to try to keep this spacing because this is the same spacing that like Lupfer used for a lot of his pieces. Cadbury Mike. Okay, well, what other N variation? Oh, I guess I could simplify the capital N that I used. To do something like... to that style of an N. Yes, I will do I'll sign it MGWard. No, I'll sign it Life in Praxis per MGWard. It's how it technically should be signed, I guess. Autofocus. Gosh, I'm having trouble doing that stem nice that big. But let's try, I just want to try this again without that N getting in the way. I'm gonna go a little off slant for my ascender strokes just to get them cleaner. No, I'm not. Maybe too far left. I was trying something and it might not have worked. Not anymore, it's not. It was. No, it isn't. It's good. Oh, unless... Was that an old message? Okay. Oh, I guess I could have finished the N, since the whole flourish I'm not doing off of the N, I don't think. Or am I? I guess we could do one angle. I mean, we can do the transition like he did. I'll try it. Sure. Let's see what happens. Didn't like the shape of those ovals in there. That one super messed up for some reason. Ah, I hate that I did that. I don't know why. That oval should have gone horizontal. I was aiming for under the question mark, I think, and didn't come around enough. Whoops. Where do they do it? They write it down here, right? Something like that. Get out of here, bot. You don't belong. Paulette Walken. You're not a real person. You're gone. Will he go for gold or scratch? Gold or snap? Oh, it's so unsightly. Ugh. Transition had started to horizontal and then I blew it. Not mad at the whole design as a whole, though. It's a fun concept that I can definitely work on getting it to look better. I like this entry oval or entry flourish to the N a lot more. I feel like I still don't know where I want the K and the H to live. I guess they're good there. I would like them to be right under that shade, but it gets a little messy under there with the tight spacing. I also think it would look better if all the lowercase letters were slightly smaller and used a little bit of, like a bit of a running hand script. So they were a little bit more spaced out. So it'd be a little bit wider, but that's okay. It's a start. It's something to work towards. The key is starting with a very nice capital N, I guess. That's a nicer starting oval than the last one. Calligrolympics. We should create some Calligrolympics events and do them in the off hours of Iampith. Cheat. I forgot to do the whole running hand thing that I was talking about. That's okay. Whoa. Alright, well I guess that's put on hold for a bit. Oh, now George is on a roll. But I'm not writing that one because it has the word twerk in it. Somebody else can write that one. I do not encourage such activity. All right. Wait. Oh, wow. All right, because we're on different paper today. Now. Whoa, I'm very washed out. So, I'm going to finish this one later because it's dark and it looks crazy though. I'm going to open my package that I got in the mail today. Live unboxing. Package. You can't really see it. But there it is. Let me zoom out here. And put it on autofocus. Wait. What is this peaceful music we got going on? That's not okay, package. I hope the camera can see at least a little bit. Here we go. Open her up. I don't know if this will be good or bad, but it's in a tiny box. It looks like so. Tiny white package that says ink on it. Camera can't focus that close up. It is taped. I will get a knife. Slice. Oh. Little flaps. Here we go. Box is open. It's too much. I mean, I can turn that off if you like. This is blacklight ink. I don't know if it's good. I mean, it's not that dark here, I guess. It's just purple light at the moment. So, it is ink. I'm curious if this ink will flow as good or be darker or brighter than, like, as under the light right here, it is brighter than my Blue Ghost. Granted, my Blue Ghost is quite old. So I don't know. I've been debating or thinking that I needed to get a new bottle of Blue Ghost, and I saw this, so I decided to give it a shot. I don't know if it's good at all. It's called Pteratopsis nutricula, and it has a little my brain literally said goldfish to me. It's not a goldfish. It's a jellyfish. So, first things first, let me put a lid on my iron gall ink so I don't spill it in the dark. Liquid kryptonite. Yes, it's jellyfish ink. It's not actually jellyfish ink. That's just the picture they have on the label. But first things first, when we get ink, I, as we all know, dislike bottles like this. So, here's one of my jars. I probably should have done this before the black light, when it was light and you guys could actually see what was going on a little bit better. And hopefully I don't make a crazy mess. Let me, maybe I'll do this over paper towel, just in case. Oh, weird. Strange that my paper towel doesn't glow in the black light. I just kind of assumed it would. It's on an EDM channel. Oh, just Winnie. Some EDM songs start out chill, I guess. I haven't gone through and made a playlist of, or got rid of all the high energy ones. Yep, we're decanting in the dark. But we're gonna do it this way. I mean, luckily this jar is huge, so I can just sort of do this, and then really quickly flip it over. Oh, wow, it's not actually that much ink at all. It's only about half a jar, but I much prefer it in one of my jars to their jar, because I can't dip an oblique holder in their jar. So there we go. Wow, there's no ink in there, and it glows still so much. Maybe that's what they did. They just made the bottle glow. Okay. Let me put this writing paper aside. Get some of the blacklight paper that we use. Now that's Magic Mike. My friend did the choreography for that movie, or those movies, and shows. What do I need? Paper. Paper for the black light. Okay. Where did... This is what I need. There we go. A glide sheet. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Not that the camera can see anything anyways, but once I write something, it should be able to. All right. First dip into the Pteratopsis Ink. It is very bright. Well, let me now zoom in for you guys. It is very, very bright, but it is also very, it's very watery. Yeah, it's hard to get a good hairline, which might be no good. That's what it normally looks like when we do this, but that might be a little too hardcore. I don't know if this is good for writing or not, because it's very... Yeah, it's bleeding into my paper. Which the other one bleeds a little bit, but this one is bleeding more. Now, I want to directly contrast this with the other ink, so I'm going to get both of them. If you guys want, I can turn off the crazy filter this week if you don't like it. George isn't used to the pink and purple filter. Affectionately titled Drunk Mermaid filter. Okay, I want to compare this now directly to Noodler's Blue Ghost. The hairlines are way better with the Noodlers, but it's not nearly as bright. I'm using the gray Rhodia pads currently. Okay, now I'm... Drunk Memory is the best. Glad you like it. Okay, so it is much brighter, but hairlines are much harder to acquire. What about on different paper? Let's try it out. It's much brighter. I'm very curious if a new bottle of Noodler's Ghost would be this bright. What's going on, Savik? Welcome, welcome. We're just testing out a new ink. The top line is the new ink, the second line is the other ink. You can't see exactly what they're like now because I have a crazy filter on them, but the new ink is brighter. I do want to try another shade of paper. Give me 2 seconds. Now this is the paper I got because I was hoping to use it with black light. It won't look very good with the filter, so I'm going to turn that off for a second. But it bled all over the place as it was drying. And I wonder if it would work good on this paper. I don't see why it would if it doesn't work on the other paper, but no harm in trying anyways. First, a hairline test. Oh yeah, it's very it's very gloopy. I wonder if there's any way to fix that. Can you put gum arabic in glowing ink? Yeah, hairlines are garbage. I mean, the second ink is... It's just too... The hairlines are no good. It's like I'm writing with a broad fountain pen, even though I'm using an insanely sharp Hunt 101. So this is where I genuinely could say, where have lost my hairlines, or hairlines, where have you gone? I'm wondering though, I've tried gum arabic with the Noodlers and it didn't really help much, but this is brighter, so I'm wondering if gum arabic would dull it slightly, but if it would give it a better hairline. Because that's, well, and it's bleeding very badly, unfortunately. It is super bright though. Yeah, so feather everywhere. No hairlines to the ink. George is in full-on poet mode tonight. Whoa, and the hairlines are, yeah, it's super goopy. Feels like writing with water or something. Which water's not goopy, but it's, yeah. Super bright. But at what cost? Wow, these just look like fuzzy shades. So much bleeding. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's partially this paper as well, though. This paper doesn't take any black, like, that's the initial tests I did. I was really hoping, because it's a good shade of, it's not as dark, but it's a really good shade of paper for the black light. It just looks like crap. Well, that's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping it was going to be amazing. The brightness is pretty amazing, but I can't write with something that doesn't give me a good hairline. That's like, goes against everything I believe in. Hairlines are who I am. Noodlers remains king. Yeah. Back to Blue Ghost. I'm gonna get a new bottle of Blue Ghost just because I'm curious if a larger or if a new bottle will be good, because my Blue Ghost is at least, oh, it's gotta be like, it's almost 10 years old. Something like that. Maybe more than that, actually. It's old. He's old. Maybe. Unfortunately, I don't have very much of this new stuff, so I don't want to, I can't, I mean, I can order more. It was not very expensive at all. It just takes a long time to get here because I ordered it from China. Mohamed had really good success creating his own blacklight inks, or his own UV reflective inks. They weren't invisible inks like these, but he got neon inks that would that would fluoresce under blacklight, which that's essentially what I need. I don't really need it to be invisible ink, I just need it to glow. So I need to find that kind of an option. It may, George, it's possible. On the other paper, even the Blue Ghost feathers quite a lot. I don't know that I really want to mess with the Blue Ghost until I get more. Especially if my Blue Ghost is just old. And a new jar would maybe be brighter than mine anyways, possibly. Blue Ghost remains king. To the beat. Sorry. Alright, what does this week's signature look like? It's that A. Oh no, I dipped in the wrong one. Ugh, I should not have 2 glowing bottles of ink beside me. Now we do the capital E. And then we do the L. Yeah, double dipping would be no good in these 2 inks. Fun. That's a fun signature. I have to get my execution a bit cleaner and then I'll film it tomorrow or the next day. Probably tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, I'll film it tomorrow. I got a lot to do tomorrow. It's a big day. Too big, this bottom oval. Too big. Can't remember where that dot goes. I feel like it's inside of the E or inside of the L. I need a loopy signature like that. How can I do mine super loopy? Yep. I mean, luckily with this one cool thing with this one, well, I guess, because you could also do it, I do it with the A first. You can also do it with the E. Luckily, well, the tough part, I guess, as far as for the concentric circle, these spiraling circles, that's pretty, I think that's easier anyways, to do spirals clean. This is the tough one to get the, because you have a direct horizontal oval and then an indirect horizontal oval, and they have to match the same. So they both have to be right on that horizontal plane or they're gonna look funky. I want to make my signature have loops in it. How can I do that? What if I start with 2? I don't know if that'll work. 2 of those into, no, that doesn't work. That signature can't be loopy. Never mind. I designed a loopy one once. I just can't write it. Yep, lots of horizontal ovals in both directions so that they're both feeling super comfortable. You don't belong, Edmund Abernathy. Be gone. It's all what the most difficult part for me is just the way he got his spacing, because this A has to go high enough that the E can fit smoothly inside, but it has to drop down quick enough that it doesn't get in the way for all these loops, because this spiral doesn't cross through it, and then the L just touches in there. And then from there, you're kind of home free and you're good to go. And then you just have to fit your lowercase letters inside. There, and then the E inside that line, and then you're done. In theory, easy peasy. That's always my goal, Ojaswini. No, I haven't had any new subscribers in quite a while. My YouTube account is not growing very fast because I don't post regular videos. And I think these lives have been sort of diminishing in popularity. People don't want to listen to me ramble all that much, I guess. I gotta think of something to make them, to jazz them up and make them more popular and exciting. But we'll be taking a break, so maybe that'll reignite them when I come back from my time away from home. Because we'll be pausing for a couple months. Nice. Is this like the mid-season finale? Not quite. I don't leave until March 16th. So whatever Sunday is prior to that will be our last one. Alright, I do believe I am going to end there today, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, don't spill ink. It's too bad that our new ink didn't work out quite as brightly as I would. Oh no, it's plenty bright, but doesn't write as fine of a line as I would like. I am gonna mess with it. I might try to dip a couple drops of gum arabic in it and see if that does anything without toning down the glowiness too much. We'll see if we can come up with something that works, and if not, that's fine. I gotta get another bottle of Blue Ghost anyways, because I do really like it, and it gives me a pretty good line. This was fun. I know we didn't go super long into the blacklight, but that's that. I'm a little tired, and that's gonna be that. As always, if you want to join me or just hang out with the word of the days, I'm in the 24-hour study room on my Discord. It's like a live Zoom call pretty much almost every night, usually between like 10:30 and 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you turn on notifications for like the music control room or the live room, you can be notified whenever somebody jumps in there. But it's just a live call that anybody can join, listen to music, write. You can turn your camera on, you don't have to turn your camera on. You just hang out. It's like a digital hangout study room that happens all day, every day. I'll be in there pretty much every night, but you can go in there without me if you so desire. But with all that being said, I want to make sure that you guys are falling in love with the process. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. And broadcast.